71 for men and 76 for women. This is the average human lifetime, according to World Health Statistic report published this year. On average, it is 73.3 globally for both sexes. And of course, it differs from country to country and from region to region. For Europe, it's 78 years. For Greece, 81. In Poland is the European average, 78. And as you can probably expect, the longest one is in Japan, 84. What is interesting fact, that just 70 years ago, in 1950, just a few years after the Second World War, the average human lifetime across the globe was just 46 years. And in Europe, 61. And can you guess what was the average human lifetime in 15th century? Any ideas?
30.
35? Lower? 28. In fact, 28. Today we will say that when we are 28, the real life just begins. Hopefully, we'll live longer today, and this is good for us, and this is also good for the business. Because it's not a mystery that the longest human lifetime means the longer customer lifetime. I won't give you any average statistics across the globe. What is the average customer lifetime? But I can ask GPT chat and Google Bar chat about it. And they have both said that it's different for different industries. For example, for retail industry, it's more or less 3 to 5 years. In technology industry, it's different. It's different numbers for the hardware and for the software. For the hardware, up to 5 years. For the software, 5 to 7 years. And for the banking, the answer was 10 years, up to 10 years, which I personally rather do not agree. I think the banking sector is the best here in terms of customer lifetime, and I would even expect 20 years of customer lifetime. And in fact, it doesn't matter if it's shorter or longer. I mean, even in the difference between the industries, in terms of customer lifetime, there is one common thing. The longest customer lifetime means the highest revenue for the company. But the customer lifetime is just one piece of the whole puzzle. Because what really matters at the end is the customer lifetime value. And this is the moment in which my story just begins. Customer lifetime, customer life cycle, we can divide into 3 stages. The stage number 1 is the acquisition. So everything what is done to acquire the client, to attract the client, to onboard the client on back services. Then after that is following the stage number 2, which is about the customer engagement, which is about the customer activity for buying the first products, for first purchases. And the stage number 3 is the customer retention. So this is the phase, a stage, in which the customer is buying the products on a regular basis. The critical difference is between what happens before the prospect becomes a customer and what happens after. And this is not a mystery that a lot of companies are focusing on what happens before. And that's why today I would like to focus on what happens after. And the second, and also it's the second reason, because it's really wrong to do that. So let's focus on some market statistics. The first one, cost of customer acquisition is 5 times higher than keeping the existing customers. And in many cases, the upfront costs are so high that in fact the revenues from the customer we need to wait many months or even years to do that. And that's why it's really worth to focus on the second and third step, the engaging and the retention. And let's see statistic number 2. It's rather the obvious fact that the probability of selling a product to existing customer is much higher than the probability of selling the product to the new customer. Especially when we take into account that we have information about the existing client, his transaction history, his profiling. We can compare his to the peer groups. And the first statistic, probably you will be surprised. Because if we increase the customer retention, but only 5%, it means that if we engage 5% of our customers to buy the products on a regular basis, it can lead to the increasing the company profits by 75%. And this is really important. That's why it's really important to focus on the engagement and on the retention. And when wealth comes into the game, it seems that it's even easier. For one hand, because of the nature of the wealth management products, which are the long-term products. And this is the one thing. And the second thing, because from the nature of the wealth management clients, they usually first became the banking clients. So we are after the acquisition stage, we are after the engagement stage, and after the retention stage. And of course, that migration from the client of the bank to the wealth customer is much easier. Still, there is something to do in the area of the acquisition, at least the customer onboarding to the wealth products. But what we can then focus is the focus on engagement and retention, which at the end can lead to the higher customer lifetime and the customer lifetime value. And what is the customer lifetime value? Of course, all of you know exactly. This is, in fact, the revenues that we have from the clients for the whole customer lifetime, from the first transactions to the last transactions. And in fact, there is even formula for that. That the customer lifetime value, in fact, is a result of the 3 factors. Factor number 1, what is the purchase value? Factor number 2, what is the frequency of the purchasing? And factor number 3, the customer lifetime. And how to increase the customer lifetime value? Of course, by increasing all the 3 factors. In wealth management, there are 3 aspects, there are 3 elements that we can do. The first factor, assisted advice. So we can support the client in the whole investment journey, in the whole advisory journey, just to convince him to buy products which are appropriate for him. Number 2, any kind of self-services, including global advisory. And number 3, assets the broader product universe. The funds, the equities, the structured products, the deposits. That's the factor number 1. Investment frequency. The best is, of course, the periodic investment plans. When the customer is investing on a regular basis with different products, with different investment plans, then personalized investment ideas. I will tell you a few words about that in a few minutes, but this is very individual recommendations for the client in terms of products, in terms of investment plans, model portfolios. And the periodic rebalancing. If we convince the client to follow the model portfolio, of course, the natural result is the periodic transactions. And the factor number 3, how to increase customer lifetime. Still, you won't have any tools to increase the human life, but the customer lifetime indeed. Financial planning, investment goals, so general, the holistic view on the customer whole lifetime, starting with the moment when the customer is very young, he's thinking about any dreams, then about the children education, wedding, pension, and so on. And the last thing, something what maybe you will be surprised, because the gamification and loyalty program. which are natural tools for the retail industry, for, let's say, banking, traditional banking, but maybe not necessarily in the wealth management. I will present you in a few seconds an example of the company which introduced the gamification for the wealth management customers. And the last thing, on top of that, personalized videos. So such very interactive information delivered to the client in form of video, very individually delivered to the clients. Also, I will focus on that in my third example. So let's start with the first one, the personalized investment idea. So the concept here is quite easy. For the one hand, there's a need to prepare investment idea, some product campaign, focus on the particular product or the model portfolio or the investment plan. And this is the one thing. And the second thing is to identify the target group of clients by using, for example, artificial intelligence or any kind of rule-based engine in which, based on some filtering, in which we can filter the clients with some new cash, the portfolio, or some big value of money in the customer portfolio, or the dedicated customer risk profiling, or some particular asset in this portfolio. We can select the particular group of clients to whom such product, such investment idea will be sent, and then share such kind of very individual delivered product campaigns and investment ideas to the client channel. And of course, such kind of personalization will definitely increase the probability of conversion of such kind of suggestion to the real transaction. The example number 2, gamification. Let me introduce the concept of Old Mutual. This is the investment and insurance company which introduced to the wealth management clients the program called Old Mutual Rewards. And the concept is, of course, nothing new, because from the one hand, they introduce any kind of idea how the customer can earn the points. For example, by education in some investment area, by creating their own smart plan, how to invest the product, or just to invest in more and more different types of products. And how the customer, what the customer can do with the points. Of course, you can invest in additional products. He can buy some products in the partner store. He can just donate the charity. And this is in line with the company, one of the strategic pillars, in which they would like to be, most trusted partner and passionate about helping them achieve their lifetime financial goals. And the example number 3, the last one, personalized videos. The concept of the personalized videos is to deliver to the customer very interactive, in fact, the video content, which on one hand has some kind of the frame, which is the common for all the customers. And from the other hand, it is delivered very individual information about the client name, the value of the client portfolio, the value of the cash, and so on. And in that way, that video is very personalized for the client. Let's see an example.
John, hello, great to see you back. I'm very happy to tell you what has changed in your portfolio since the last visit. Your wealth has significantly increased over the last year. You can also expect coupon payment in the annual report. Check the APIs on the dashboard. Just to remind you, for more planning portfolio overview, visit a dedicated space to ensure this is analysis of your wealth. This allows you to see your current exposition in currencies, asset classes, and other breakdowns. Don't forget to follow the performance measures, historical operations, and select events now to have a look at your portfolio. They all matter. I can also suggest that you visit your inbox, you'll find there are new recommendations from your RMM, Mrs. Jordan. I hope iShares Exponential Technology CTF will meet your interests when it comes to investing in the data technologies. It will be a great match. For more details, you can always look at the product part with all necessary information about the product itself, as well as an individual commentary from Mrs. Jordan. Just with a few clicks, you can trade the ETF later in the app. Lastly but not least, we would like to appreciate your loyalty to us. 10 years of being together is a great anniversary. Throughout this time, we granted you with individual investment advice service provided by Mrs. Jordan. You have also leveraged the self-trade features in the app and robo-advisory service. Congratulations! Your services and portfolios are really diverse now, and we are happy to grant you with all out within one app. John, as a reward for being loyal to us, we are upgrading your customer status to the gold level. Please find dedicated offers, rewards, and coupons which are waiting for you in the app. It was a pleasure talking to you, John.
It was quite a comprehensive example of personalized video. But you can imagine it can be more simpler, it can be shorter. But what is important, it can be focused on different aspects of the information that we like to deliver to the customer. Investment ideas, new products, new offer, new model portfolios, new investment. What is very important at the end, what is the conversion? Please see the numbers. 85% of users watch personalized video till the very end, in comparison to the 15% for not personalized video. This is the first thing. KPI number 2, click-through rate is twice as higher. A situation in which you deliver to the clients that personalized messages by text. But at the end, over 200% higher conversion where sales is supported with personalized video, which of course leads to the higher customer lifetime. Please remember, at the end, I would like you to remember 3 things. The first one, engaging and retention. Is the crucial thing to increase the customer lifetime. You can increase the engagement by introducing personalized proposition, personalized investment plan, personalized recommendations, personalized. And the retention, you can increase with the gamification and loyalty, which at the end will lead you